Just need to rant real quick. Dating at nearly 40 post divorce fucking sucks.
I did it, y'all. I just hit the send button to file for my divorce.
When I was 50, I got on all the apps after I got separated and was in the middle of a divorce from my husband. I was 50 at the time. I'm now 60.
Welcome back. What you just saw is what happens when expectations built over years finally meet reality. Most men understand this moment. You look at your partner on a normal day, nothing special, just life happening. You tell her she looks beautiful, and you mean it. That part is real, that part is human. The issue is not that moment. The issue is what builds up over time without honest correction, without hard conversations, without things being addressed properly. Because when reality finally shifts, it doesn't match the story that was being assumed for years. And that's where things fall apart. 3 different situations, 3 different outcomes, but the same pattern underneath, unspoken problems eventually becoming unavoidable. Let's break it down.
Okay, this is like the 3rd time I've done this. So I'm going to talk a little faster, and hopefully I get through my story. When I was 50, I got on all the apps after I got separated and was in the middle of a divorce from my husband, who is the father of my children, and we get along just fine. Anyways, everything's fine between us. So I went on a bunch of dates. I posted pictures within 2 or 3 days of posting them, so I look like my pictures. I talked pretty extensively on my profile about what I was interested in, and got some interesting dates out of it. Didn't really work out with most of them. That some of them were like, hey, I'm not into this, bye. And sometimes I would say, hey, I'm not into this, bye. Except for this one guy. We went to this cool little coffee place in Pacific Beach. I would shout it out, but I can't remember what the name of it was or even what street it was on, but cool little place. Had a little garden, and we got our drinks. Went out into this little garden, and I proceeded for 15 minutes to engage somebody in conversation who could say yes, no, or grunt. And even though his grunt was kind of sexy, I'm not into that. Like, I want somebody who's going to engage me in conversation. And after struggling for about 15, 17 minutes, I finally said, hey, you know what? It's cool. You're cute. And I wish you the best, but, it doesn't seem like it's really clicking. So let's just split. I'm going to leave. Have a great day. You're grunting. You're saying yes or no, and you're not really talking back to me. And it felt like, I don't know, uncomfortable. So, anyways, that was my experience. I was 50 at the time. I'm now 60. I don't know what he was looking for. Anyways.
She was 50 when this began. Now she's 60, 10 years later. A full decade of first dates that never turned into anything lasting. Different people, different moments, but the same outcome. And this is the one she still remembers most. She met a man in a calm, simple setting, nothing dramatic, nothing planned. Just a normal interaction that didn't go the way she expected. She even admitted there was something about him she found attractive in a quiet way, but it still didn't turn into anything further. And the interesting part is what she revealed herself. Her expectations came from a very different past chapter, and everything after that felt like a mismatch. That's the pattern here. Not one moment, but years of expectations not lining up with reality.
I just hit the send button to file for my divorce. I had it sitting there all day signed. I even told him I was struggling to send it. And after telling me this morning what an embarrassment I am, I still gave him a chance to say, stop, don't send it. Because that's what we do. So here's what I've learned. I think this process is going to be a lot like getting a shot as a child. It sounds a lot scarier than it actually is. It certainly can't be as scary as what has been going on, or as painful. And while it hurt to hit that send button, It didn't hurt as bad as I thought. The thought of actually sending it hurt more than actually sending it, if that makes sense.
Oh my gosh, sure.
So I hope that the rest of this process, even though it's scary and painful, is going to hurt less than what I anticipate. And it'll be just like a shot. When it's over, I'll look back and say, oh, I did this to protect.
Now here's how the process actually unfolded. She had the papers ready on her phone. Everything was prepared, and she told him she was struggling with a decision right in front of him. That was the moment where communication could have gone in a different direction. A pause, a conversation, something to stop it from escalating. But it didn't happen. So she went ahead and filed, later comparing the experience to something simple and painless, like it would be quick and easy in hindsight. But real separation doesn't work like that. It's not instant, and it's not neutral. It's a major decision with long consequences on both sides. And what stands out in stories like this is the pattern. The moment isn't usually loud or dramatic. It's often quiet, built on hesitation, missed chances to speak, and decisions made without full alignment. Not betrayal. Not chaos. Just a point where communication stops working. And once that line is crossed, everything after it changes.
I just need to rant real quick. Dating at nearly 40 post-divorce fucking sucks. I thought this time around it would be easier in certain aspects. We're all older, more mature, grown-ups. Most of the people in my age range have children, their parents. We don't have all the hormones rushing through our brains and our bodies. And so I guess I re-entered the dating scene very recently with higher hopes than when I was dating in my 20s. Foolishly, I believed that, people were looking for people that they actually wanted to enjoy spending time with and truly just finding a partner in life. That, yeah, sex was important, but it's not going to be the first thing that people go after. And I was wrong and sorely disappointed that I have gone out with has immediately either hinted at or demanded sex. They want sex and sex only. And if you're not willing to give that to them up front or quickly, like, they're not interested. They're acting like 16, 17, 18-year-old little boys instead of mature men, most of them parents of children. Like, a lot of them have daughters. Your daughters get to be dating age. You really want that to be what they have to deal with every time that they go on a first date, second date, third date with somebody is some asshole just trying to get them into bed. And when that doesn't happen, they just ghost them. They disappear. Like, what?
Nearly 40, post-divorce, back in dating again. She returned with expectations shaped by her past, expecting depth and long-term connection. But the reality she met wasn't the same environment she left years ago. Most of the people she meets now are also older and carrying their own history, and what she wants from connection often doesn't match what she's encountering. At one point, she even brings up family and daughters, questioning the way things have changed. But there's a clear shift here. She once had a long-term committed relationship, built over time, which she chose to leave. And now she's in a very different space with different rules and outcomes. That contrast is where the frustration comes from. Because leaving one world means stepping into another, and they don't operate the same way.